Earth is changing. Millions of years of relative warmth during the Pliocene epoch have come to an end. Now, the planet is sinking into a new, colder and harsher age, the Ice Age. Massive glaciers from both poles begin to spread, swallowing millions of square kilometers of land, altering sea levels, and transforming lush grasslands into barren, frozen tundra. Death from exhaustion and hypothermia is a constant threat, a ruthless force of natural selection. Only the strongest, smartest, and luckiest individuals can survive. But individual strength is not enough. In this frozen world, the basic unit of survival is not the individual, but the group. The fragile yet essential bond among them is the only shield protecting them from extinction. They rely on each other to hunt, to defend against predators, and to share what little warmth remains. The act of burying their dead shows a dim awareness of loss, a gesture that strengthens the invisible thread connecting the living. An encounter with another group brings forth a primal dilemma: conflict or cooperation. Resources are limited, and every stranger is a potential rival in the struggle for food. Sharing meat around the fire is not merely an altruistic act. It is a clever survival strategy. An investment in the strength of the group, the most precious asset they possess. Cooperation between two groups to bring down a large beast is not merely a matter of physical strength. Represents a cognitive and social leap forward. This hunt is not an impulsive act, but the result of a chain of complex mental abilities. First comes abstract thought and planning. Reading the traces in the snow, recognizing shape, size, depth, and direction requires a mind capable of interpreting symbols and reconstructing past events. From those traces, they can infer the size, strength, and even potential behavior of the prey. This is the foundation of reasoning. Then comes strategy. Dividing into two teams, one to drive and one to ambush, shows a deep understanding of space, time, and causality. They are not blindly chasing the animal. They are manipulating its behavior, luring it into a calculated trap. This requires coordination and communication at a high level. Though they lack complex language, roars, hand gestures, and exchange glances are enough to convey a shared plan. Each individual must understand their role, trust others to do theirs, and execute it precisely. A successful hunt yields an invaluable reward, a massive source of calories. The meat, especially the fat, of a great bear can sustain the entire group for many days, even weeks. This rich energy source not only helps them survive the next scarcity, but also fuels their growing brains. It creates a positive feedback loop. A bigger brain enables better hunting, and better hunting provides the energy to grow an even bigger brain. The temporary abundance after a great hunt also breeds the first seeds of complex conflict. The struggle over the choicest piece of meat is not just about food, it's a declaration of status within the group's hierarchy. The idea of storing meat in the snow marks a leap in temporal thinking. It shows an awareness that the present is not all that exists. The future matters and must be prepared for. It's a manifestation of the ability to recall the past in order to predict and plan ahead. Instead of consuming everything immediately, they learn to delay gratification to ensure long-term sustenance. This invention freed them from the endless cycle of hunting and consumption, giving them stability and time for other pursuits. Scooping snow into a container, perhaps a fragment of eggshell, and placing it near fire to reproduce the melting process is the essence of experimentation in its earliest form. Before this, access to drinking water was limited to finding unfrozen streams or waiting for ice to melt naturally. Alongside their evolving group cognition and planning skills comes the rise of tool innovation. When one individual observes snow melting near fire, it's not a coincidence. It requires curiosity and the ability to perceive cause and effect. Now, they could turn the icy world around them into an endless water supply. This not only fulfilled a basic need, but also expanded their freedom and adaptability, allowing them to camp far from natural water sources, as long as there was snow and fire. The fragility of life is revealed most brutally in the face of nature's fury. The hut, the fire, the stored meat, all the achievements of their young intelligence can be erased in an instant by a snowstorm. It is a bitter reminder that they are still small creatures, living at the mercy of a powerful and indifferent planet. The death of one group member is not only an emotional loss, but also a weakening of the group's strength, a warning of the fate awaiting them all. Yet, in this moment of despair, one of the most crucial evolutionary leaps occurs. Creating fire through friction is not the same as keeping an existing flame alive. It requires a new level of knowledge, skill, and persistence. It marks the transformation from mere tool user to intentional toolmaker. Rekindling fire from ashes is more than a technical triumph. It is a spiritual one. It transforms them from passive victims of nature into active agents capable of shaping their destiny. The fire born from their own effort carries deeper meaning than the one they merely found. It becomes a symbol of resilience, intelligence, and the will to survive. It engraves a lasting truth in their memory. As long as they have knowledge and cooperation, they can create light and warmth from the very darkness and cold that surround them. The Ice Age landscape is a tapestry of deadly hazards. Beyond the cold and the storms, even the ground itself is treacherous. The death of a group member from falling into an ice crevasse is a tragedy, but for an evolving mind, tragedy can also be a source of revelation. This event accidentally unveils a hidden world beneath their feet, an underwater ecosystem, a potential new food source. The initial reaction, thrusting a spear to catch fish, is instinctive, applying a land-based hunting tool to a new environment. Its failure exposes the limits of existing strategies. Yet instead of giving up, one individual approaches the problem differently. This is the moment of true creativity. The invention of the first fishing rod is an extraordinary testament to complex thinking. It is not a single object like a stone or spear, but a composite tool made of multiple components, each serving a distinct purpose, combined into an efficient system. The discovery of aquatic food transformed their diet and survival strategy. Hunting large land animals is always risky and not always successful. Fish, on the other hand, offer a safer and more consistent food source. Exploiting this resource diversified their diet, making them more resilient to other food shortages. More importantly, fish and other aquatic life are rich in fatty acids, crucial nutrients for the brain and retina. This dietary shift significantly accelerated brain development. As tools and intelligence evolved, so did their inner life and group structure. The creation of a bearskin cloak was not merely an advance in insulation. It marked the dawn of material culture and self-expression. Unlike simply draping a hide over one's shoulders, cutting, measuring, and stitching pieces of skin together with sinew to make a fitted garment required skill. Patience, and an emerging sense of aesthetics. It turned raw material into a crafted object, one with both functional and symbolic value. Made from the hide of a great bear, the prize of a legendary hunt. The garment became a symbol of strength, bravery, and triumph. When an object gains symbolic value, the notion of ownership begins to take root. The conflict that erupts when the leader claims the cloak is not mere selfishness, it's an assertion of power. By wearing the symbol of strength, he reinforces his dominance within the group. This marks the rise of the self, an awareness of individuality distinct from the group, with its own desires and ambitions. The rift within the group is no longer about food. It is a struggle for status. It signals the birth of a more complex hierarchy, no longer based solely on physical might, but also on control over cultural symbols. This is the moment when mere survival begins to transform into conscious existence. In the silence around the fire, under the endless Ice Age night, their minds no longer process only the outside world. They begin to turn inward, embarking on a new journey, the search for the self. Amid the eternal cold of the universe, a small spark of intellect and awareness has been lit, and it will never go out. Humanity was born from that fire,